Welcome to 1909 Games. I wanted to make games since I can remember. At first I wanted to start with making card games when I was pretty small, and I was drawing some cards and it was pretty great. Then I thought, oh man, let's make a video game. So I bought the FPS creator and was like, oh my gosh, it's so easy to make games. But of course the games haven't been pretty good because I was, 12 or 14 or 13, I don't know. Pretty young, and it was not that good. Then I thought, let's make a break of making games because I would never be able to make money out of it. And now I recently released my first little indie game called Meat Lust. How does release turned out? How much money did I make, and am I rich now?
Nope.
But time is rare, so let's get started. 1909 Games. Let's make games. Technically, Meat Lust is not really the first game I ever released. There have been Blood One Stars and A Boy and His Beer. Blood One Stars was a little experimentation, so it is a little game I made for Android, and you are this little blob and you collect stars and that's it. So it turned out pretty small, but it was okay. I felt comfortable with the release. I made around $3 or something, but I spent way more for music and so on, so it was not worth when it comes to money. But I still was happy to have a game out there, but I don't count it as the first real release because it was more like a test of how does everything work. The second game, Boy and His Beer, was a free game. I released on you.How. It was like an advent calendar, so you have to play 24 levels, one for every day in the December until Christmas. And it was a story and a walking simulation, and like this I made $35, I think. Something like that, and after tax and so on it was under $20, so when it comes to money it was not worth it, but I learned as well so much, so I was happy. What is Meat Lust? Meat Lust is a first-person horror game in which you have to avoid the enemies because it's not a shooter. You don't have a weapon, you just have a flashlight and you are too weak anyway, right? So just avoid the enemies. If you want to see the development of this game, there is a devlog, you can watch it. Just click the info box and you can see step by step. Every week I made a devlog, or every second week at the end because it was too much. But there are still some devlogs you can watch, and if you want to see them, yeah, just click it. It doesn't hurt, and if you don't like it, just don't click it. I don't know. Make whatever you want. And if you haven't already, just subscribe to the channel, please. It would help out a lot, and please leave me a like. That would help a lot as well. The development of the game took me 4 months next to my full-time job, so it was pretty quick, I guess. I wanted to make it in 3 months, but that was simply not possible, so I needed an extra month, and I think for this time it worked out pretty good. Thumbs up for that. So sounds like it was easy, right? Wrong. It was not easy, but it was fun. I had so much fun making the game. It will be frustrating, every time you make a game at some point, but that's not a problem because you will have a phase where you come to, oh my gosh, now it's looking like I wanted to, something like that. And then you got a boost of motivation and you work just fine. The release. And even more fun it will be when you release a game. To press this little button, public, and you're like, I'm done. When you press the release button, you forgot every pain, you are just happy, and that was so awesome. And I made a barbecue and I drank a few beers and waited a little bit, and somebody tried to buy the game and it was not possible. That's bad. I did not really panic. No, I just waited. And I was like, okay, maybe itch.io, since this is a page I was releasing the game on, needs some more time, but I was pretty relaxed. I was like, okay, I'm done. That's it. Just give me some time, lean back, and that's it. But on the next day, it was still not possible to buy the game. And that was a problem. And I was a little bit panicked, but I just tried, fix the problem. So I went to the itch.io page, changed one setting, and it worked just fine. So it was a thing for like 1 minute to change that, so I should have done that the day before. But at the end it was not a problem because I could accept all payments afterwards. It took some time to accept them manually, but that was not a problem, and I released the game really so everybody could buy it. And then I waited a little bit longer and I was like, oh my god, I'm rich. At least my 7-year-old me would think that $10 are a lot of money and you're rich. So yeah, money. But for real, it was not just $10, it was around $45 for the first 1.5 weeks now. And of course, I could never make a living out of $45 for 4 months of work, and I'm still making updates. So, you know, it is not worth when it comes to money, but it was so much worth the experience and the fun I had and everything. Oh, and don't forget the taxes. I need to pay taxes for it, so it will be around $25 at the end on my bank account. So that's not too much. And making that little money with the game you spend so much time, tears and fun and everything, you know, it could be depressing. It could be. But don't be depressed if you make just a little bit of money, because the experience is ever worth it. And I never have thought that it will make a lot of money. So it was like, okay, that's my first real, for me it's my first real game I made that's fully done and so on. And so I didn't expect it to make that much money. And I hope I will get some attention with the game, but not that much money, you know, that's the thing. When it comes to pricing, the game was costing $8, but there was a discount for the first week that was around $5. And after thinking about it a little bit longer, I was like, okay, I think $8 is late, maybe a little bit too much, so let's make it to $6. Because I don't want it somebody to feel like, what? No, it's $5 anyway, you know. So it's a little bit more than the discount, but it's still less than the $8. So I think that is fair right now. And there will be discounts like on Halloween or something. It makes sense for a horror game, you know. And I hope that I will make some more money then. Let's play an article. The scariest part for me on this whole journey was watching a Let's Player play the game. It was so much fun, but I was always like, oh my god, he will find every mistake in the game and he will hate it. And I didn't thought about that before. It was like, okay, I will release it and I never have to see somebody play the game, but that's not true. And on the other hand, it was the most helpful thing. So if you want to test the game, don't let it test by somebody you know. I made this, so you know, I let somebody who I know play the game, and that was helpful. But he was like, okay, it's good, and you know, but if you have a Let's Player who's playing regular games, and he will find more problems in the game, more mistakes. So that was pretty good, right? And he found mistakes. It hurts a little bit when he says like something like, okay, I think it feels unfinished and I paid money for it, so it should feel finished. But on the other hand, it was really okay that he said something like this, because I was watching the video and it was like, okay, yeah, it's true what he's saying. Of course he don't care about, okay, he spent so much free time to make this, but if it is not feeling finished, you know, if it's feeling unfinished, he don't care about how much work it was for me. And that's okay, you know, that's the only right thing. Nobody will care about how much work you will put in your game. If it don't feel finished, it don't feel finished, you know? And I will make an update, so I will make it feel finished, at least a little bit more. And there's a little article by DreadXP, and that was really good. So I felt really like, oh my gosh, I didn't expect it, something like that. There are things you expect when you release a game and things you don't expect when you release your first real game. And that was something I did not expect. And it feels awesome to read this because they were pretty positive about the game. And at the end they wrote,
the game is on sale now for around $5 and well worth the price for the 45-ish minutes of experience.
Awesome, that felt so good, you know. It felt like, oh my gosh, they liked it. They kind of liked it. I never expected that, really. And I will link it in the video description, of course. And at the moment, I'm working on an update to make the whole game, you know, feel more finished. And the most helpful thing here was the Let's Player who played my game and was pretty honest with his opinion, I guess. The next game I will make is a 3D platformer, so not in a horror genre, because what I learned from especially the Let's Player, again, is he was like, okay, the story is great and it looks great, so that was what he liked about the game, at least he said, and the music. By the way, the music is done by my cousin, and it was awesome. And I learned that I should focus more on making a beautiful world and making some kind of great story and having not too much enemies, for example, because, you know, they felt unfinished. So maybe I'm not very good at making this kind of game with enemies. So let's make a 3D platformer. And I'm using assets for the movement and so on, so that I can focus on what I am best at. And I think everybody should do this, at least for the beginning. Outro. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to leave a like, check out the game, you know, link in the description, and leave a like and comment, just interact, you know, I like interaction. So tell me what I could do better, tell me everything please. I would love to have some opinions about all I'm doing, and thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. Bye.